Hi, it's Sinead here from Generation Women. So today I made a post in my Facebook group, Career Winners, about how we need to start recognising the great things that we do and how that really builds confidence. And part of what I do with my clients is I get them to journal about what they did well today and start to really focus on that instead of beating themselves up and just rushing from one thing to the next without realising. And what the impact of that is that first of all, you don't build confidence, you don't understand what you are doing well, therefore you don't know to do more of it. You take what you do for granted. And what the bigger impact of that is you don't get recognised for the brilliant stuff you're doing. So I've worked with plenty of women who have been coasting along in their careers. Now, coasting's maybe not the right word, but they've not been getting the recognition they deserve. So they're going along at a certain level, they're feeling frustrated, they're fighting against not feeling heard, not feeling valued, not feeling recognised. And I feel, as well as the challenges that we have to overcome as women and how society does recognise us, there's stuff we can do that will improve that. And part of it is this moving from believing we're winging it, we're just doing our jobs, we're just getting things done, to really recognising what value you add. So a couple of the women in the group had mentioned this and said they'd appreciate some tips, and that's what I want to share with you. So the first thing is about really recognising what it is you do, what you bring. Because I hear time and time again, when I'm coaching someone for interview, for instance, about how to pull out of them what they bring to it. They just skip over everything. You take it all for granted. You think, I'm just doing my job. Well, I'm here to tell you that quite often the things that you're doing that you believe are just doing your job are not. They're bigger, they're better, they're more amazing than anybody else can do them. So let's start taking ownership of that. And the only way you do that is by paying attention, taking time out to reflect, thinking about what would not have happened if I wasn't there. Where did I add input and value today? Where did I change the course of things? Where was my idea taken on board? How was I listened to? And though paying attention to those things will get you aware of when you are being listened to, what you're doing is being adopted, what things you're doing that are having an impact, and also will give you some awareness of when you're not, so you can improve that too. So building your awareness. The other thing is about being much more intentional about your approach going into things. So a couple of the women said that, they're rushing from one thing to the next. They've achieved a lot, but by the end of the day, they're so exhausted, they're not really sure what's happened, and what would you identify as having done something well. Well, we need to start building in regular pause moments into the day. And I'm not talking sitting, head in the clouds for 20 minutes at regular intervals. I'm talking 2 minutes before and after a meeting, 2 minutes before you go and do anything. Take some time to focus. So bring yourself into the present. Mindfulness is a brilliant tool that we can call upon, and you can be mindful at regular points within your day. And what will that do for you? Well, it'll get you focused on getting the result that you want. Because if you're just swinging in from one thing to the next, where's your focus? How do you get yourself into the zone. How are you bringing your best you? So it's really important that when you are going into any meeting, any interaction, anything where you want to have an impact, you build in those few moments before where you take some time to go, right, okay, catch my breath. What is it I'm going to do here? What's the outcome I'm looking for? How do I achieve that outcome? And who do I need to be to achieve that? And I'm telling you, when you ask yourself those simple questions, you'll really get more focused, you'll get more results, and you'll bring a different person into the room. Now, it does no harm to bust a little power pose while you're at it, build up the confidence, presence and impact, and that's going to make a big difference for you as well. And bring that. And then when you come out of the meeting, instead of dashing into the next one, take a moment and think to yourself, okay, what went well there? What did I bring to that? What can I do to take myself to the next level in the next meeting? And taking that time to pause and reflect and acknowledge what you're doing that's working will mean that you can build on that. You'll start to own that strength and start to recognize, this is something that I do, this is something that I bring, and here's how I get really good results. And when you become really conscious of that, then you feel so much stronger and more confident going into the next thing. So when instead of winging it, we're taking some time to be intentional, we're reflecting, I really recommend you journal about this. So you've got a few minutes pausing during the day before you go into meetings, when you come out of meetings, and then take 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed or before you leave the office, wherever it is, same place every day, same time, and think about overall today, where did I add value? What did I do well? How did I show up today? And I guarantee you will learn so much about yourself. You'll start to appreciate and recognize your strengths, and your confidence will grow and grow. And you'll move from winging it to having real impact. So when you do this, you become more visible, you become more intentional, and you give yourself permission to be unashamedly brilliant. And that's what I think we all deserve to be, because you are brilliant at what you do. You're improving every day, and let's own that and go out there and use that. So I hope those tips are helpful for you today. Stop telling people that you're winging it, thinking that you're winging it, and start being your own brilliant self and bringing that into everything you do. Take care, see you soon.